The rain fell in silver needles over Manhattan, slicking the streets into a dark mirror as Emma Lawson pressed her palm against the cold marble of her mother's grave. Clara Ann Lawson. The inscription read, "Beloved wife and mother." The dates beneath were a lie. Emma knew it in her bones. Mothers didn't leave. Not like this. Not in smoke and screaming. "I brought lilies," she whispered, arranging the white blooms against the headstone. Their sweetness clashed with the damp earth. "Dad's hosting another gala tonight." Evelyn picked the menu. "Lobster bisque, truffle risotto, your recipes. She even wears your perfume now." A gust rattled the oak branches overhead, scattering droplets. Emma didn't flinch. The cemetery was her only sanctuary, the one place Evelyn's polished heels never clicked. At home, every trace of Clara had been erased. Her oils paints donated, her velvet armchair replaced by a chrome monstrosity, her laughter smothered under the hum of stock reports. "She's poisoning him," Emma said louder. The wind snatched her words. James Lawson's penthouse gleamed like a surgical suite. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the snarling city below, but the steel and glass interior held no warmth, no fingerprints. Emma hovered in the foyer, her black gown swallowing her frame. At the grand piano, Evelyn Harper adjusted a vase of blood-red roses, her reflection sharp in the polished ebony. "There you are." Evelyn's smile didn't touch her eyes. "Your father's been asking for you." Emma gripped her clutch tighter. "He's been asking through you, you mean?" A flicker of irritation crossed Evelyn's face, smoothed instantly. "We're a team now, darling. You'll understand when you're older." The lie curdled in the air. Team. As if Evelyn hadn't slithered into their lives 6 months after the fire, her condolences as calculated as her stock portfolios. James, hollowed by grief, had clung to her like a lifeline. Evelyn, his vice president, his rock, his replacement. The elevator dinged. James strode in, his tuxedo impeccable, his salt and pepper hair too perfect. "Emma, you're not dressed yet?" "I am dressed." He blinked as if noticing her for the first time. "Right. Well, the Carlyles just arrived." "Evelyn, the Bordeaux, already decanted." Evelyn brushed his arm, a proprietary gesture. "And I've seated the mayor's wife away from the union rep. No fireworks tonight." James chuckled, a dry, unfamiliar sound. "What would I do without you?" Crash. Emma stared at the shattered vase at her feet, water seeping into the rug. "Lilies, Clara's favorite." "Clumsy," Evelyn murmured. "I'll get a towel," Emma said, fleeing. The kitchen throbbed with caterers, but Emma ducked into the pantry, slumping against sacks of organic flour. Her hands shook. Breathe. She'd been breathing for 5 years, since the night flames tore through their Hamptons estate, since the fire chief muttered electrical fault and her father's sobs echoed through ICU halls, since the closed casket. "You're missing your own party." Emma startled. Margot, their housekeeper, stood in the doorway, her apron dusted with cocoa powder. At 60, she moved like a woman half her age, her gaze missing nothing. "It's not my party," Emma said. "It's hers." Margot grunted, handing her a ginger cookie. "Eat. You're all bones. She's going to replace you next." "Let her try. I've outlasted 3 recessions and your father's golf phase." Margot's wink faded. "But you're playing her game, skulking in corners, giving her the satisfaction." "What should I do?" "Throw a drink in her face. Start by living." Margot nodded at the door. "That woman's a shadow. Shadows hate light." The dining room glittered. Crystal, silver teeth. Emma took her seat beside her father, directly across from Evelyn, who held court like a queen. "Philanthropy isn't charity," Evelyn was saying, swirling her wine. "It's investment. Public goodwill lifts stocks faster than any merger." Mayor Carlyle nodded, rapt. James laughed again. Emma stabbed her risotto. "Your recipe," she thought, glaring at Evelyn. "Your voice, your seat, your life." A server leaned over to refill her water, blocking Evelyn from view. For a heartbeat, the woman's profile shifted, cheekbones sharper, hair lighter. "Mom?" Emma lurched up, sloshing Merlette across the tablecloth. Emma, James hissed, but the server was already retreating, anonymous in black and white. I need air. Evelyn's sigh followed her. Teenagers. The rooftop garden was a tomb of topiaries. Emma gripped the railing, the city's roar rising to meet her. Below, Central Park pulled into darkness. You feel it too, don't you? She whirled. The mayor's wife, Diane Carlyle, stood silhouetted by moonlight, her champagne flute dangling carelessly. Feel what? Emma said. The ghosts. Diane nodded at the penthouse. Evelyn scrubbed it raw. But they're still here. In the floorboards. The vents. She sipped. Your mother hated these parties. Said they were soulless. Emma stilled. You knew her? We sat on the Met's board together. Clara fought to fund emerging artists while the rest of us wrote checks to dead Europeans. Diane's smile turned wistful. She'd sneak us flasks of tequila during auctions, called it liquid courage to battle the bourgeoisie. A laugh burst from Emma, sharp and sudden. Diane tilted her head. You have her eyes, not the color, the fire. Evelyn sees it. That's why she's afraid of you. Wind rippled the hedges. Somewhere, a shutter banged. Why are you telling me this? Emma said. Diane set down her glass. Because I'm tired of watching good men marry their secretaries. And because she hesitated. The fire, the report, it never sat right with me. Emma's pulse spiked. What do you mean? But Diane was already turning, her sequins catching the light. Ask your father where he was that night, the whole night. James found her at midnight, slumped in Clara's studio, a cramped storage room now. Canvases replaced by filing cabinets. You embarrassed Evelyn, he said, loosening his bowty. Evelyn, Emma mimicked. Since when do you care about Minhas? Since she's kept this family afloat. His shout echoed off steel. You think the world stops because we're sad? The board, the investors, they wanted blood after the fire. Evelyn gave them miracles. What about my miracles? Emma's voice cracked. I needed you. Not her. James sagged suddenly old. I'm here now. Are you? She thrust a hand at the cabinets. Mom's sketches, the ones she drew of me. Where are they? He blinked. Evelyn thought, we needed space to move forward. Emma laughed, hollow. You let her box up Mom like jump. Enough. He massaged his temples. We're leaving the city. Evelyn found an estate in Connecticut. Fresh air, no memories. You'll transfer to Dalton. It's settled. Ice flooded her veins. You're running? It's for the best. He turned to go. Where were you? The words tore free. The night of the fire. Diane said. James froze. For a heartbeat, his face contorted. Guilt? Fear? Then the mask slid back. You're overtired. We'll discuss this tomorrow. The door clicked shut. Emma waited until the penthouse stilled. Until Evelyn's snores, delicate, she bet, like a cat's purr, drifted down the hall. Then she crept to James's study, fingers trembling as she entered his computer password, her birthday. The security footage was still there. July 12th, 2:03 a.m. exterior cameras. Her mother's studio, a blur of orange, flames licking the roof. And there, parked blocks away, her father's Mercedes. In the driver's seat, a silhouette, James, gripping the wheel. In the passenger seat, another figure, sleek bob, pearl earrings. Evelyn. The timestamp glowed, 1:17 a.m., an hour before the fire started. Dawn bled through the curtains as Emma stuffed clothes into a duffel. Margot found her at the safe, clawing through passports. Running won't fix it, Margot said quietly. I'm not running. Emma shoved Clara's diamond necklace into her pocket, the one Evelyn hadn't sold yet. I'm going to find out who really killed my mother. Somewhere below, a car door slammed. Tires screeched. The ghosts were awake. Connecticut's autumn leaves crunched like bone under Emma's boots as she crouched behind the stone wall, the Lawson estate looming ahead. 3 weeks had carved hollows beneath her collarbones, sharpened her gaze. 3 weeks of bus station coffee, pawn shop TVs blaring missing Harris segments, and the constant itch that Evelyn's hunters were one motel receipt away. But the necklace had bought answers. Clara's necklace. The diamonds now traded for a burner phone and a janitor's confession outside Port Authority. Psych ward upstate. The man had wheezed, counting bills. Rich folks pay extra to make problems disappear. Emma adjusted the stolen maintenance uniform, its polyester reeking of bleach. Margot's voice hissed in her memory. Shadows hate light. Well, she'd become a shadow now, slipping through the estate's service gate as dawn bled pink over manicured hell. The new house was a mausoleum. Marble floors echoed under her squeaking sneakers as she followed the scent of espresso to Evelyn's morning ritual, a ritual she mapped through hack security feeds at a Queens internet cafe. 6:47 a.m. East Wing balcony. Alone. Evelyn stood framed by glass, silk robe fluttering, cell phone pressed to her ear. Told you to burn those files, not debate semantics. If the bro contacts that nurse again, I'll... Emma froze behind a potted fern. Have your license revoked. Yes, Margot too. The old bat's been snooping. A pause. No, James still thinks I'm redecorating his dead wife's charity. Men are so literal. The fern trembled. Emma's nails bit her palms. Speaking of, Evelyn turned, spotting her. You're early. Emma ducked her head, grunting. Well, the orchids won't water themselves. She fled to the solarium, heart hammering. Rows of white orchids stretched like ghostly sentinels. Clara had hated orchids. They're vampires, she'd laughed, sucking beauty from corpses. A glint caught her eye. Beneath the third planter, a flash drive taped to wood. Margot. She pocketed it as footsteps approached. Having trouble? Evelyn leaned in the doorway, sipping espresso. Emma kept pruning. Look at me. Their eyes met. Hazel versus glacial blue. Recognition flared. Emma. The cup shattered. She ran. Down service stairs. Through the kitchen where Margot stood holding a skillet like a weapon. Car. Margot barked, tossing keys. Go. The Jaguar roared to life as Evelyn's scream pierced the air. James. Tires sprayed gravel. Emma didn't breathe until the highway swallowed her. The flash drive held CCTV footage. July 11, 11:08 p.m., her mother's studio. Clara painting furiously, whiskey bottle nearby. A shadow at the window. A face. Evelyn. Then static. Emma replayed it, freezing the frame. Evelyn's hand held not a match, but a syringe. The psychiatric hospital squatted in the Catskills, barbed wire curling its fences. Emma bypassed reception, following the janitor's scrawl. Wing C basement. Iron door. Mold choked the air. Somewhere, a woman wailed. Clara Lawson was here, she told the guard, sliding Clara's diamond earring through the food slot. He spat. Ain't no names here. Room 12B 5 years. You carried her meals. The earring disappeared. A buzzer screamed. The corridor stank of ammonia and hopelessness. Room 12B's plaque read J. Doe. Inside, peeling walls, a cot, and... Mom? The woman at the window turned. Gaunt, gray streaked, but alive. Inga? Clara whispered. They crashed together, Emma sobbing into moth-eaten wool. You're real. You're here. Clara cradled her face. You have his eyes. Dad's? No. Her thumb brushed Emma's cheek. The guard who smuggled me books. Sweet Davier. A broken laugh. He'd say I read too much Jane Eyre. Footsteps thundered above. Clara stiffened. They check every hour. You need to. Come with me. Emma tugged her toward the door. I can't. Clara revealed shackle scars. Not without proof. Evelyn owns the judges, the cops. I have video. She set the fire. Clara stilled. Show me. The iPad glowed in the dank room. They watched together, Evelyn at the window, syringe glinting. She drugged me, Clara breathed. I woke up here. They said I was a John Doe. some addict to imagined being. Her voice broke. Being yours. Emma gripped her hands. We'll go to the press. The dead. Lights flooded the courtyard below. Black SUVs. Evelyn's men. Clara shoved the iPad at her. Run. Not without you. A gun cocked. Actually, draw the familiar voice. She'll stay. Evelyn stepped into the room, James pale behind her. Dad. Emma lunged, but guards seized her. James stared at Clara. This is sick. Even for you, Emma. Hiring some look-alike. Check her arm. Emma thrashed. The burn scar from my birthday candles. Clara slowly rolled up her sleeve. James recoiled. Clara? Evelyn sighed. Darling, grief does strange things. You said she was dead, he roared. She is. Evelyn snapped. A ghost. A trick. That woman is. Your wife, Clara said softly. Who forgave your affair? Who stayed? James staggered. Evelyn drew a pistol. Enough Dietrich's. The shot cracked. Not at Clara, at the ceiling. Next one's hers. Evelyn said, James, the car. Now. He didn't move. Now or I paint these walls with your daughters. James moved, but toward Clara. You're here. Evelyn's scream was primal. The gun swung. Emma lunged, teeth sinking into Evelyn's wrist. The pistol clattered. Chaos erupted, guards tackling James, Clara yanking Emma backward. They fled through a fire exit, alarms howling, bullets biting concrete. The Jaguar fishtailed onto the highway, 3 bodies inside. Where now? Clara asked. Emma met her father's shattered gaze in the rear view. To end this. The storm hit just outside Albany, rain slashing the windshield like shrapnel. Emma white-knuckled the steering wheel, the Jaguar hydroplaning through a blur of brake lights. In the passenger seat, Clara stared at her hands, chapped, trembling, so unlike the artist's fingers that once cradled brushes and Emma's childhood cheeks. Take the next exit, James rasped from the back. Blood seeped through the makeshift bandage on his shoulder where a guard's bullet had grazed him. There's a safe house, for mergers. Evelyn doesn't. He faltered, the name curdling the air. Clara didn't turn. You built her an empire. Now you hide in its cracks. Emma glanced in the rear view. Her father looked gutted. Good. The safe house was a derelict motel off Route 9, its neon sign spelling vacancy in 3 languages. James fumbled with the keypad behind room 12's mildew-stained painting. The wall swung open, revealing a sleek panic room. Monitors, weapons, cash. Clara froze in the doorway. You prepared for war. For her, James said quietly. Emma dumped the first aid kit on the steel table. Strip. Emma. The bullet. Now. He obeyed, shrugging off his ruined shirt. The wound oozed crimson. Clara flinched but stayed rooted, arms wrapped tight around herself. You knew. Emma dabbed iodine, harder than necessary. That night, you were with her while Mom burned. James hissed through clenched teeth. Evelyn said she said you were both at the Hamptons. That Clara wanted space after our fight. I drove to her studio to apologize, but the flames. Liar. Clara's voice cracked. You sat in that car. Watched. I watched nothing. There was smoke, people screaming. I tried to get in, but the roof collapsed. They showed me a body. Mine? Clara's laugh was jagged. How convenient. Emma bandaged the wound in furious silence. The monitors flickered. Security feeds from the estate, Evelyn's office, the psychiatric hospital now swarming with cops. A red alert blared. James lunged for the keyboard. She's freezing the accounts. We have 6 hours before the cash goes inert. Clara touched a framed photo on the desk. Emma at 7, pigtailed and grinning on Coney Island. You kept this. I kept everything they let me. The room stilled. Rain drummed the roof. Emma stood. We need leverage, something to make Evelyn back off. She'll never stop, Clara said. I'm her ghost. You're her mistake. James pulled up a bank ledger. There's a shell company, Blackthorn Holdings. She funnels bribes through it. If we expose the transactions, we? Clara whirled. You think balance sheets undo 5 years? That prison was your boardroom, James. Your votes, your silence. He reached for her. Clara, I swear, the slap echoed. Emma stepped between them. Enough, we're leaving. Where? James asked. Somewhere she'd never look. Coney Island in November was a corpse of its summer self, Ferris wheel creaking, boardwalk littered with fish bones and fading spray paint. Emma led them to a graffiti-covered door beneath the cyclone. Margaret's cousin owns the arcade, she said, kicking rust off the hinges. The apartment above stank of weed and nostalgia. Neon signs from dead businesses lit the space. Tiffany's Tanning, 99C/pizza, Clara's Canvas and coffee. Clara froze. You kept the shop? Mom, Emma swallowed. After the fire, Margaret bought the lease. Said artists needed cheap frames. Sunrise through dirty windows caught the dust motes, the stacks of warped canvases. Clara traced a finger through the grime on her old workbench. I painted your first portrait here. You kept squirming. You promised ice cream if I sat still. James hovered in the doorway. We can't stay. Evelyn has eyes everywhere. She'll look in penthouses, not pawnshops. Emma tossed him a burner phone. Call your board. Leap Blackthorn. They'll hang me. Better than her noose. While James muttered into the phone, Clara pulled Emma aside. You blame him. Don't you? Every day. She cupped Emma's face. But hate is a slow poison. I drank enough for both of us. The arcade's back door slammed. Margaret barged in, grocery bags shedding bagels. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. You're all over CNN. James paled. How bad? Evelyn's spinning it as a kidnapping. Says Clara's a schizo impersonator who's armed and dangerous. Margaret thrust a tablet at them. Security cam footage looped. Evelyn tearful at a press conference. Bandaged wrist dramatic under studio lights. My stepdaughter is ill. We beg whoever's holding her. Clara snorted. She always hated method acting. Emma grabbed keys off a hook. The marina. We'll take Pop's old boat. Wait. Margaret handed her a thumb drive. From the hospital's incinerator logs. Seems someone paid extra to burn records every July 12th. Our fire's anniversary. Emma plugged it in. The screen filled with scanned invoices, shredding orders, witness payoffs, a $2 million disbursement to Judge Rinaldi. James cursed. He oversaw the probate case. Clara leaned closer. What's that symbol? The bird with 3 heads. Margaret crossed herself. Bratva, Evelyn's cleaners. I shot down Emma's spine. They're coming. Sirens wailed in the distance. The sea siren listed badly, its hull crusted with barnacles. James gunned the engine as searchlights swept the pier. Hold on. He wrenched the wheel. The boat lurched into the black Atlantic. Clara gripped the rail, hair whipping wild. Where now? Global waters. James adjusted course. I have contacts in. A spotlight blinded them. Lawson. A bullhorn barked. Cut the engine. Coast Guard. Evelyn stood at the helm of a cutter, sleek in a trench coat. James, darling, you've given the tabloids such a scandalous week. Clara stepped into the light. Miss me. Evelyn's smile curdled. Ghosts should know their place. She nodded to an officer. Apprehend the impersonator. Emma blocked their path. Her DNA's on file from the psych ward. Run it. The ward you broke into? Evelyn tutted. Teenage rebellion is so quaint. James revved the engine. Stand down, Evelyn. It's over. Over? Her laugh sliced the salt air. I'm the only reason Lawson Industries still exists. You were a weeping heap until you faked my death? Clara's voice carried across the waves. Stole my life. My child? Stole? Evelyn's composure cracked. You abandoned them. Drunk on turpentine and self-pity while James built an empire. I gave him purpose. gave Emma structure. You're just a stain we're scrubbing out. The cutter inched closer. Emma gripped the flare gun. Last chance, James. Evelyn aimed the pistol. Choose your family. He stepped forward. I already have. The gunshot was thunder. James crumpled. No! Emma lunged as Clara caught him. Blood bloomed across his shirt. Evelyn stared at the smoking gun, stunned, then smiled. Hoops! Emma fired the flare. It struck the cutter's fuel line. The explosion lit the night. In the chaos, they dragged James below deck. Clara pressed the towel to his chest, hands steady despite the tears. Stay with me, you bastard. You don't get to leave twice. He grasped her wrist. The vault, Zurich. Proof for Emma. Tell her yourself. His gaze found Emma. I'm sorry I believe the pretty lies. The light left his eyes. Somewhere above, helicopters circled. Emma took the helm. Clara knelt beside her. Where to? To end this. The sea siren carved west, toward dawn. Zurich's Bahnhofstrasse glittered under a steel-gray sky, its cobblestones slick with frost. Emma tugged her beanie lower, the stolen banker's blazer itching her neck. Beside her, Clara walked like a ghost resurrected into the wrong century, her stolen peacoat swimming on her frame. The vaults beneath the opera house, Clara murmured, eyes darting to security cameras. James showed me once, said it was our apocalypse fund. Emma snorted. He funded enough apocalypses. A tram clattered past, tourists snapping photos of Christmas displays. The scent of roasted chestnuts twisted Emma's stomach. 3 days since the boat, since the Coast Guard fished Evelyn's body from the Atlantic, or didn't. 3 nights of Clara's nightmares, of Emma staring at the burner phone's no-service glow. But the safe deposit key burned in her pocket. Box 1721. The opera house loomed, its marble facade carved with muses. Clara approached the stage door, humming Gershwin. Password? A guard blocked their path. Sic transit Gloria Mundi, Clara said. He smirked. Not since 2008. Clara leaned close, her French flawless. Tell Victor that Alice's daughter is here to reclaim her rabbit hole. The guard's smile died. He ushered them through a maze of velvet corridors to an elevator with a retinal scanner. Alice? Emma hissed. Old alias, Clara said. Your father wasn't the only one with secrets. The elevator plunged. The vault door was a monolith of black steel. Clara pressed her palm to a hidden panel. Dia a lock, she said. James' idea, in case someone forcefully inherited. The door groaned open. Cold air rushed out, carrying whispers of ink and gun oil. Inside, gold bars, velvet boxes, and a titanium case stamped Blackthorn. Emma flipped it open. USB drives, deeds, a Glock. Bingo, she breathed. Clara lifted a faded sketchbook. Her hand shook. These were in my studio. The night. Emma glanced over. Charcoal nudes of James, smudged with wine stains. A pressed lily. Then, behind a false panel, a pink onsie. Baby's first Christmas, the tag read. He kept this. Clara whispered. Emma turned away. Focus. We need. Sirens screamed above. Evelyn's welcome gift. Clara said, stuffing files into a duffel. Go. They sprinted through service tunnels, the vault's alarm wailing. Emma's ankle twisted on a drain, pain shooting up her leg. Leave me, she hissed. Not a chance. Clara slung Emma's arm over her shoulder. Footsteps echoed, shouted German. A grate gave way to the Limit River's icy bite. They surfaced gasping under a bridge, the duffel of evidence miraculously intact. The consulate, Clara coughed. Diplomatic immunity. Emma shook her head. Evelyn owns them. A speedboat roared around the bend. At the helm, a figure in a black balaclava. Down. Clara shoved Emma underwater. Bullets peppered the surface. Emma kicked deeper, lungs burning, until the boat passed. They emerged in an alley, the duffel's contents half drenched. Clara unzipped it. The files. Forget the files. Emma grabbed her shoulders. We need people. Witnesses. Someone Evelyn can't buy. Clara stilled. There's a name. In the hospital. Dr. Keller. He refused her bribes. Emma scrolled through the blackthorn files on a waterlogged tablet. Keller Friedrich, neurologist, fired in 2019 after whistleblowing on Jesus. What? Emma showed her patient logs, photos, a warehouse fire in Queens. Not a fire, Emma whispered, a crematorium. Dr. Keller lived in a vineyard outside Lausanne, his stone cottage choked with ivy. He answered the door with a shotgun. I retired, he said, eyeing Clara. You're supposed to be dead. I'm persistent. Clara nudged the barrel aside. We need testimony. About Evelyn, the hospital. Keller's laugh was bitter. Testimony? I gave it. To the New York Times, Interpol, they all took her checks. Emma spread the blackthorn files on his kitchen table. What about these? Keller's glasses fogged. Where did you? James Lawson's grave, Clara said. He traced a photo, Evelyn shaking hands with a man in a Russian military coat, Brapa General Volkov. They traffic organs, patients who vanished from my ward. Emma's gut churned. How many? Enough to fill a cargo plane. Keller opened a hidden floor safe. My copies, audio recordings, blood samples. Clara gripped the edge of the table. You let them. I quit, he snapped. But the system is a hydra. Cut off one head. Emma stuffed his files into the duffel. You're coming to The Hague. They'll kill me. They'll kill you quieter if you stay. A motorcycle snarled outside. Go. Keller shoved them toward the cellar. The tunnel leads to the docks. They ran as gunfire shattered the cottage's windows. The Hague's International Criminal Court rose like a steel flower. Emma's heels bled. The blazer swapped for a thrift store pantsuit. Clara's hair was dyed jet black, glasses masking her face. Last chance to vanish, Clara said. Emma adjusted the wire under her shirt. You taught me to finish the fight. I taught you to paint water lilies. Same thing. The prosecutor, a hawk-faced woman named DeVries, scanned their evidence. This proves collusion, but without Evelyn Lawson alive. She's alive, Emma said, and watching. As if summoned, the TV in the lobby flickered to breaking news. Exclusive footage of Evelyn Lawson, rescued after days adrift. The widow vows to clear her family's name. The screen showed Evelyn swathed in bandages, waving from a hospital balcony. Clever bitch, Clara breathed. DeVries stood. We'll convene an emergency tribunal, but if she's as connected as you say. Emma slid a USB across the table. Live feeds from the vault, broadcasting to every major outlet in 20 minutes. Your move, counselor. The courtroom was all cold light and echoes. Evelyn entered in a wheelchair, her bandages starched, her eyes venom. Your honors, DeVries began, we present a conspiracy spanning. Conspiracy? Evelyn's laugh echoed. These delusions from a traumatized girl and her impersonator? Clara stood. Test subject 12B. That's what your doctors called me. Evelyn's smile faltered as Clara rolled up her sleeve. The barcode tattoo. The Hague recognizes Clara Lawson, the judge said. Evelyn's lawyer objected. The TV feeds cut to the vault footage. Chaos erupted. Emma didn't see the gun, only Clara shoving her down as the shot rang out. Evelyn stood, bandages unraveling to reveal unmarked skin. You think law defeats power. Security tackled her. She laughed, spat at Clara. You'll always be a ghost. The gavel pounded. Evelyn Harper Lawson, you are remanded. But Emma was already running to Clara, crumpled and crimson. Look at me. She pressed her scarf to the wound. Clara smiled. You have, his eyes. Sirens wailed. The world blurred. The last thing Emma heard, critical condition, the last thing she felt, her mother's hand going limp. Maine's coastal fog clung to Emma's cheeks like a shroud as she knelt in the garden, her trowel biting into stubborn soil. Lupines, Clara's favorite, refused to bloom here. The salty air, the ghost cries, the absence of city noise should have been healing. Instead, the quiet screamed. Inside the cottage, a radio crackled. Sentencing adjourned pending psychiatric evaluation. Harper Lawson's legal team cites. Emma stabbed the earth harder. They'll drag it out for years. Clara stood in the doorway, her silhouette blurred by the screen mesh. The scar beneath her collarbone peeked above her sweater, a jagged mouth where Evelyn's bullet had torn through. 6 months and she still winced when reaching for teacups. You should be resting, Emma said. And you should stop murdering my peonies. Clara limped down the steps, her cane sinking into mud. Let the roots breathe. They worked in silence. The rhythm familiar. Clara digging with her good arm, Emma planting. A dance from another life, when gardens meant birthday parties, not graves. The DA called, Clara said finally. They found more witnesses. Dock workers who saw Evelyn's men load cargo. Emma snapped the lupine stem. I don't care. Liar. She's in a cage. What difference does it make if? Justice isn't a cage, Clara said softly. It's a reckoning. You taught me that. The trowel clattered. You almost died teaching me. Wind rippled the lupine leaves. Somewhere down the coast, a fairy horn blared. Clara cupped Emma's face, her palm callous but warm. You once asked where I got the strength to survive. It wasn't hope. It was rage. Clean, bright rage. She tucked the stray hair behind Emma's ear. Don't let them take that from you, too. The cottage's attic smelled of turpentine and betrayal. Emma climbed the ladder each dawn, avoiding the half-finished canvas. A stormy sea swallowing a ship. Clara's last work before the fire. Tonight, though, a package waited on the easel, marked its looping script, for when you're ready. Inside, her mother's sketchbook, salvaged from the vault. Emma flipped past nudes and landscapes to the final pages. Baby shoes, a hospital bracelet, a courtroom doodle of James sweating through a tie. Then, tucked between pages, a letter. Asterisk, dearest Inga. If you're reading this, I failed, but failure is just paint beneath the gesso. It primes the canvas for something truer. Don't waste your fury on ashes. Burn brighter. Love, Mom asterisk. The paper crumpled in her fist. Portland's federal courthouse buzzed with press vipers. Emma smoothed her blazer, the fabric still smelling of Keller's vineyard smoke. You don't have to do this, Clara said, adjusting Emma's scarf, James's scarf. Yes, I do. Evelyn entered in a wheelchair, her platinum hair now dishwater gray, her orange jumpsuit hanging loose. She caught Emma's eye and smirked. The judge spoke. The court recognizes Emma Lawson. Evelyn's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client's mental state. Let her finish, the judge said. Emma unzipped the binder. Exhibit A, Shipping Manifests from Blackthorn Holdings, July 12, 2018. Cargo, medical waste. Destination, Volca Pharmaceuticals. She clicked a remote. The screen lit with photos, body bags stacked in a Bratva warehouse. Exhibit B, survivor testimonies from Wing C. Evelyn yawned. Exhibit C, Emma turned. Your ledger? Page 43. The courtroom stirred. Reporters leaned forward. Evelyn's smirk died as the screen filled with her meticulous script. 10N, campaign donations. 5N, Judge Rinaldi. $2 million, crematorium disposal. And at the bottom, $1, price of a soul. Where? Evelyn's voice cracked. Where did you get that? Emma met her gaze. You left it in the vault. Signed, dated, bloodstained. The gavel pounded through the uproar. Evelyn lunged, chains clanking. You ruined me. No, Emma said quietly. You did that yourself. Clara waited on the courthouse steps, her breath visible in the November chill. Margot's making chowder. Emma linked arms with her. I'm thinking of applying to law school. Clara tripped on a crack. Law school? Someone's got to fix the Hydra. They walked toward the harbor, past lobster boats and tourists. The Sea Siren's wreckage had been salvaged. It's held now a memorial bench. James Lawson, flawed father, reluctant hero. Clara traced the engraving. He hate that. He hate the font more. Laughter mingled with gulp cries. For the first time, it didn't hurt. Spring came early. Lupines erupted in violet riots along the cottage path. Emma loved the canvas to the bluff, its size straining her arms. Need help? Clara called from the garden. It's a surprise. She unwrapped the painting at sunset, the Lawson penthouse, but transformed. Vines cracked the marble floors. Orchids strangled Evelyn's piano. And in the center, a girl with wildfire hair, watering lilies. Clara's cane thumped up the trail. Oh, it's not finished, Emma said. Her mother touched the girl's face. Yes, it is. They hung it in the attic, covering the stormy sea. That night, Emma dreamt of brushstrokes, not bullets. The cemetery was quiet, the headstone moss-free now. Clara Ann Lawson, it still read, but the dates were gone. Emma set down peonies. We kept your studio. Margaret runs it. Kids paint there now. Refugees, foster teens. They're better than I ever was. Wind chimes tinkled. Shells Clara had strung years ago. Evelyn got 20 years. Emma sat cross-legged. They found more bodies. More ledgers. Keller says it'll take decades to. A butterfly landed on the stone. Monarch, wings frayed but fierce. I think I'm done raging, Emma whispered. Somewhere down the hill, Clara whistled, their old signal. Emma stood, knees popping. Coming? The path ahead was unmarked, but the lupines were finally blooming.